Welcome back to this week's Emet Inspire. Shavuot is coming up next week, and Shavuot is a holiday. We receive the Torah, and there's an incredible Vilna Gaon on Mishlei in chapter 22, verse 19, that says like this: "The Iker Netinat HaTorah LeYisrael Hu K'dei She'asimu B'Tchuna B'Hashem." That the main reason that Hashem gave the Jewish people the Torah is so that they can put their trust in Hashem. V'hu Lefi she'ikar me'hakol hu ha'bitachon hashalem. Because the most important than anything else is for us to learn how to put our full trust in Hashem. And it's interesting because in last week's Parsha, Bahar Bechokotai, in Parsha Bahar, it opens up by the Be'er Adonai and Moshe Bahar Sinai Lemor, that Hashem spoke to Moshe on Har Sinai saying, and then he gives him the mitzvah of Shemitah. So everybody's very perplexed. Weren't all the mitzvot given on Har Sinai? Why are we specifically talking about Shemitah, which is the fact that you're not allowed to work the land in Israel on the 7th year? Why is that particularly being discussed as being given at Har Sinai, in the mountain of Sinai? And there's different answers, but we could suggest a potential answer that it's because, based on the Vilna Gaon, that the reason the Torah Hashem gave us the Torah was so that we can learn how to have bitachon in Hashem. So that is, Shemitah is all about having bitachon in Hashem. In fact, it's probably one of the hardest ways to show it. You don't work for 1 year out of 7. You have land, you have a field, you cannot touch it. The entire country can't touch the field. So not only does it mean you're not getting produce, you're not getting money, the whole country could starve, God forbid. So, and the Torah specifically here points out, says, Hashem says, do not worry, I will take care of you. On the 6th year, I'll give you enough to take care of you in Shemitah, and then some. And so maybe that, we could say, was why the Torah put specifically Shemitah by saying Hashem gave this commandment to Moshe at Mount Sinai. Shemitah, you know why? Because Shemitah encapsulates exactly what the Torah is all about. The Torah is about, like the Vilna Gaon said, about learning to have trust in Hashem. And in fact, the Gemara says, and the Torah says, one of the reasons that the Jewish people eventually went into exile, Galut, is because they did not keep Shemitah. They stopped keeping Shemitah, and that's why we went into exile. And so, the question is always like, okay, what does Shemitah have to do with going into exile? I understand it's one of the mitzvah, but why is that such a big deal? I think the answer we can give again is the same thing, is that if the point of the entire Torah was for us to learn how to trust in Hashem, and Shemitah is one of the most important ways to do that, it's one of the fundamentals. So if we didn't do that, we didn't put our trust in Hashem, we didn't do Shemitah, so then we're missing the fundamental. It's like we're messing up the entire Torah. So that's why potentially we can say why the Jewish people were exiled for not keeping Shemitah. And I want to finish up by saying that potentially the way to come back, the way to come out of Galut, come out of exile, personally and nationally, is by learning how to put our trust in Hashem through the everyday things in life. Having trust in Hashem, the small things in life that come up all the time. And it's really, that even might be one of the reasons why Hashem puts so many things in our lives consistently. So we learn how to trust in Him. And really, the Vilna Gaon finishes off and he says, Shezeh bitachon is od al shiras ashchina b'toch Yisrael. That the sign that Hashem is among the Jewish people, that dwells, the Shechina, Hashem's presence is among the Jewish people, is through them having bitachon, through them having trust in Hashem. So, if we want Hashem, Shechina, and His bracha to dwell in our homes, forget nationally and Mashiach and the redemption, just in our own homes, then what we need to do is we pick up a book on bitachon or put on a lecture about bitachon and work on it daily. Hag Sameach. Thank you all.